Story time. So some time ago, I was a school nurse. It was for a very short time. And I remembered being in nursing school where shadowing a school nurse was a requirement. And some nursing schools still require that. Others don't. So it is what it is. So there was a nursing student who needed to shadow me as a part of her graduation requirement or a class requirement or credit requirement. I don't know. It was a requirement. And she was older. I don't know if she had a lot going on. She wasn't super chatty. She seemed a bit dismissive and very uninterested. Didn't take offense, didn't take any of it personally. We didn't really interact a whole lot. And when we did, as I said, her responses were like a little bit dismissive and kind of short. It is what it is. And this day wasn't super busy. Some days students just roll up in there, and this is elementary school. So some days students just roll up in there just to say hi, just to show you what they drew, just to ask for some ice for a scratch that they got on the corner of the desk. And other days, something is an actual problem. Like, a student can come in there having a hypoglycemic episode, so it all depends. So this particular day, it was one of those like non-emergent situations. These two students just wanted to come in here just because. And what I noticed is that they typically come in pairs. And the only time I see a teacher come with a student is if it's an emergency. So here comes these two young girls. And one of them had hit their elbow while they were playing on the playground, and she said that it hurt really bad and that she really needs ice. I said, okay, hang tight. Let me get you some ice. I took a look at the little elbow, and the other girl tried to introduce herself to the student. We'll call the student Janice that was shadowing me. She says, hi, what's your name? Janice says, Janice, and looks back down at her phone. And so, this is not funny, sorry. And so then the student, we can call the student Abigail. I feel like Abigail is a cute little girl's name. Abigail was like, my name is Abigail. So Janice was like, okay. And looks back down at her phone. Not interacting at all. So I kind of try to get Abigail's attention away from Janice. And I was like, what are you guys doing today? Are you guys still at recess? Do you have to go back to class? And they're like, no, we're still at recess. We just really needed this ice. Because, what if my elbow was broken? Right. The ice would fix it immediately. So you came to the right place at the right time. I am humoring them. They are children. All right. And so, as I mentioned before, Janice, or maybe I didn't, but Janice is older. Janice is an older nursing student. So Janice was probably in her late 50s, maybe early 60s. Again, I don't know if Janice was going through something, but she really was not emotionally or mentally present. And so eventually, the other student that was with her, Abigail, Stephanie. Stephanie was the other student. Stephanie was the student that needed the elbow ice. So Stephanie always, and this was way before I had locks. My hair was always in a different style. And they would ask me about my hair. So what did you do to your hair today, Miss Ashley? And I would say, well, today I did this and I did that and da-da-da-da-da. And they'd get really fascinated and they're like, can I do that to my hair? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. You'll have to talk to your parent. Like the kind of conversation that you have with a child. It was great. They were cute, okay? And at some point, I am going to have to encourage them to go back to class, but I can't do that immediately because then they're just going to keep on trying to stall. I got to meet them in the middle. And so then Abigail, trying to be inclusive, likely because this is what she's taught in kindergarten, you need to be nice to everybody, and she's taking that teaching seriously. She's like, Janice, what about your hair? Where's all of your hair? So Stephanie was like, I don't think you're supposed to ask where her hair is. I don't think that's nice, right, Miss Ashley? You're not supposed to ask where someone's hair is. And so then Abigail was like, oh, so how come she doesn't have hair though? So Janice gets up, grabs her phone, grabs her stuff, and walks out. These are children, okay? These are children. Again, Janice, I don't know what you're going through, but I don't know. There is a degree of professionalism that needs to be maintained. So if you're having a hard time in your personal life, perhaps this should have been something that was discussed with whomever your higher up is, your instructor, the director is, whomever, prior to coming here. You could have spoken to me. You know, you could have spoken to me. I would have hoped that my demeanor and my method of approach or my approachability was all within reason. Either way, nobody's going to understand if you don't present them with something to be understanding of, you know? So after the two children unknowingly roasted Janice, I sent them back to class and I went outside to find Janice. And I was like, is everything okay? I mean, you don't have to tell me your business. You don't have to tell me what's going on, but I am going to try my best to be supportive. You know, homegirl got upset with me. She was like, I don't understand, like, why it's allowed, like, why you would even let those kids talk to me like that. What? Now, my initial reaction is, you're a nursing student. You are also older. My expectation is that at this age, you would have experienced enough interaction, just in general, just seeing and hearing children, to know that children, they just speak and their honesty is brutal, okay? And that's why it's important not to take anything personal. And so what I said to her was, I understand that as a nursing student, you may not have had a whole lot of exposure, but it is important to remember that children will be children. And so in this case, I don't see how I was supposed to anticipate that she was going to say what she said. She said, whatever, I'm leaving. Okay, fine, you can go. She left and I had maybe about an hour and a half left in this shift. Maybe about 15 minutes before I left, I get a phone call from the front desk or the front office. Hey, the whomever such and such from such and such school wants to speak with you. Hi, I just wanted to know how everything went today with so-and-so. Now I'm thinking homegirl was a little weird, but I don't know. I didn't want to be like a tattletale, like actually she left. So I was like, well, you know, the day started out pretty quiet. I'm not lying. I also don't want to get in the middle of whatever's going on with Janice in this school. And she was like, okay, I just want to talk to her really quickly and make sure that she was able to ask you the appropriate questions and go over blah, 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 blah. I was like, she's actually not here. I can't hand her the phone because she's not here. I'm sorry? She's not here. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for your cooperation. I appreciate it. You have a good day. And I do apologize. And then she hangs up the phone. I don't know what ended up happening with Janice. Again, I don't know what Janice's problem was. Whatever it was, Stephanie and Abigail definitely sent homegirl over the edge. I said all of that to say that children will be honest to a T. Children will be honest Little Abigail really said, so where's your hair? Not, how did you do your hair? But where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I don't see it. Where is it at? Anyways, y'all. In one of my other videos, I did mention that the Seed and Spark campaign that I was talking about a lot in a lot of my videos didn't actually go in the direction that I wanted it to go in, because a lot of the donations, what ended up happening was, because when people donated initially, they were anticipating that money to come out immediately, or at least within 3 to 5 standard business days. Instead, Seed and Spark waits the whole 30 or the whole 45 days before they actually charge you. And I'm sure that a lot of people, banks triggered a fraud, or, you know, they had a whole lot of scam alerts set up, which they rightfully should, or people's lives just demanded that money that they donated and the funds aren't there anymore. Whatever the case is, I'm grateful to everybody who still donated. I'm grateful to the outcome, but I've learned, and I'm still encouraging everybody to pursue donating to a very different platform that will immediately take your funds. That sounds terrible. That will immediately take your money, so you don't have to worry. Catch up on Zyla, my storytelling podcast. Click the link below and explore everything I got going on. Love you guys. Oh, and I moved Epstein Street and Shadow of a Doubt to my Patreon, so support that too. Bye.